In third grade, this 9 weeks in reading, we will be talking about figurative language in text. Some of the different types of figurative language we're doing include similes, metaphors, idioms, hyperbole, onomatopoeia, and personification. Once we finish up that unit, we're going to move to fictional stories, and we're going to work on story elements such as characters, setting, problem, solution, theme. And we're also going to be really working on retelling the stories and diving deeper into fiction. Once we finish just fiction, we're going to move into traditional literature and read fairy tales and folk tales and fables. And we'll be talking about point of view and author's craft in that as well. Something new this 9 weeks will be prefixes and suffixes in words. And then we're going to continue to review synonyms and antonyms, homophones, and homographs. In our writing and phonics, we are going to be writing poetry, and we're also going to be writing personal narratives, having the students brainstorm and go through the writing process with those as well. We also have a new phonics program this year called Foundations, and that's to help students with decoding and spelling. So there will not be a list coming home every week to practice. Those are things that we work on in class. Some ways to help at home: have your child read 20 minutes a night and then ask questions before, during, and after reading. And then be on the lookout for notes that have information about Raz Kids or iStation. And if you haven't gotten that or you're looking for that, you can ask your child's teacher and they can get that to you. Some questions to ask your child during reading: what was the story about? What was the problem in the story? How was the problem solved? Did the characters change in the story? How? What was the author's purpose for writing the story? And just to retell the events of the story in order. And if they're able to do those things, then they definitely understood what they read. Moving on to math, in the second 9 weeks, our topics include data analysis and graphing. We're going to be doing frequency tables, bar graphs, pictographs, dot plots. Being able to read a scale is very important in third grade. Something that kids often have a hard time with: they forget to read the scale and then they don't count correctly. So just being sure to watch out for that. Dot plot is new this year, and it's sometimes called a line plot. And then right here are some resources that you can use at home: iExcel, the sections U4 through U11, Pearson videos for topic 15, and then here is a link for line plots and types of graphs video. Then we'll be moving to relating multiplication to division. It has students solving 1 and 2 step problems with multiplication and division with 100. Students will use their knowledge of fact families with multiplication to understand division. They will use the sharing model or repeated subtraction to connect multiplication to division. They will use concrete and pictorial models of equal groups, arrays, number lines, and area models. One thing they often have trouble with is dividing. The larger number goes first and then it is shared out. They also have trouble understanding that division is the opposite of multiplication. The method that we will use is the get method for multiplication. G equals number of groups, E equals how many are in each group, and T equals the total. So it's important for them to understand that we start with the T in division. Listed here are some resources that you can use at home to help with that unit. Then we'll move on to representing fractions. We'll work with fractions with denominators of 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. We will use concrete objects and pictorial models, including strip diagrams and number lines. The students will show fractions as distances from 0 on a number line. They will solve problems with parts of a whole and with sets of objects. Students sometimes forget that parts of a whole have to be equal parts and not varying in size. They may also think that fractions are parts over the other part rather than parts over the whole. Resources to use at home for fractions are included right here. And so you can check those out to help with that. IXL, Pearson videos, and some YouTube video examples. And then we'll be doing applying multiplication and division. So this unit includes solving 1 and 2-step problems with multiplication and division. We will learn how to multiply 2-digit numbers by 1-digit number. Multiplication will also include finding the area of rectangles and irregular shapes. And so one thing the students struggle with is, even though some students may be able to multiply or divide in isolation, they are oftentimes have trouble knowing what to do in a word problem. So talking them through it with the GET method will definitely help. Take note, we're going to be using arrays, area models, equal groups, or recall of facts to solve problems. We'll also use strip diagrams and standard equations to solve. And there is also IXL videos and Pearson videos for these topics. And anytime you have any questions, just get with your child's teacher and let them know, and they will gladly answer them for you. Thank you.